everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pantry to Plate. Our friend Chef Virginia Willis is back in the kitchen, and we're bringing you some holiday recipe ideas.
Yay!
Welcome.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So good to have you back in the kitchen, as always. Let us know what you're making today.
Oh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to show y'all how to brine and roast a hen or a turkey. It's the holiday, so we've got to have dressing, and then we're going to wrap things up with a pumpkin bread pudding that is so good.
I'm so excited about this pumpkin bread pudding.
It's really good. I mean, you got bread pudding, which is good, and then we're going to put nuts and raisins and canned pumpkin in there, and it's good and good for you.
Yum. Okay, so where are we starting? We're starting with our chicken.
We got a bird right here. So this is our bird, and so let's talk a little bit about chickens first. And I know that you know this, Kristen, but for those of y'all out there, so they're different size chickens, and the younger the chicken, usually the smaller the chicken. And so sometimes you'll get what's a fryer, which is usually around 4 or 5 pounds. And then you can get what's a roasting hen. And a roasting hen is a little bit older, right? And it often needs a longer slowing cooking time, or even perhaps a brine. And so that's what I'm going to do. And Kristen brought over this big old pot. So a brine is when you add salt and sugar. This has got a little bit of sugar, but brine is a combination of salt and water. And if I give you a spoon, will you help me stir that?
I can definitely do that.
So what happens, what I always like to say that happens when you brine a bird. So the first thing is that when you brine meat, typically it's white meat that is brined. So you can brine poultry, you can brine chickens, you can brine turkey, and you can brine pork. But typically, beef is not brined. So it's usually a white meat. But what happens is, if you can imagine, like, let's just pretend for a second that this is our chicken, right? This is our chicken. So the chicken naturally has a certain amount of moisture, a certain amount of liquid in it. But what we do with brining is it gives even more moisture. So when we brine something, what happens is that the salt water forces more moisture into the actual chicken cells. And so it's like filling a cup over the rim.
I love that analogy.
Right. So when you cook something, it loses moisture because you're putting it in a hot oven. So since we filled it over the brim, it's going to lose a little moisture, but since it had more than it had to begin with, it's going to be a moist and juicy bird.
I love that. And you know what's really important to think about when we're brining? We're always thinking about salt, right?
Yes.
Salt in our diets. So the way that you describe that, more water is going into the bird than salt.
Yes.
So we don't have to be super worried about how much salt is going into the bird when we're brining.
It's really genius, and y'all, once you try it, you won't go back. I promise. The first time I did it, it's like every year. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is, normally when you buy a chicken, it will come with a neck and some gizzards or some giblets, and so that means there's a heart, there's a gizzard, and there's some liver. Now, I don't typically put the organ meats into my stock, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the chicken neck and I'm going to put it into my pot of stock. And even though it's a bought stock, pre-made stock, that neck is going to give it some freshness to it and give it a little bit more flavor. All right. And then this, if you're making giblet gravy, you can keep it and cook it, but we would not normally put this into the stock.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so new to me.
It can make things bitter.
Yeah.
So it can make it bitter, and but this is it. So all we do, you've got the water, the salt, and the sugar, and then what I typically do is I'll just simply take the wings and fold them behind the bird, and then we put it in our pot. And here's the deal. It needs to be cold, and you got to keep it cold. So do you have room in the refrigerator for that big old pot? That's something you got to think about. One of the things that I also do is you can do it in a cooler. All right. So you can do it in a cooler. You can make your ice, make your brine, put your bird in, put some ice in there. And then I've done this before. If you put it on the back porch, make sure you put something heavy on top of it so no one visits your bird. I won't tell you that story now, but let me just tell you, it'll happen. So we're going to leave that there overnight. And the great thing is that it's going to help our bird become more moist. And it seems like a lot of salt. A whole cup of salt, it seems like a lot of salt.
Yeah.
But for that amount of water, it's not. And we're going to do it 8 hours. And if we need to let it go further than that, what I'm going to suggest is to take the bird out of the salt water. Okay. So you're going to take the bird out of the salt water, just put it in a bowl or in a container in your refrigerator. But you can oversalt.
So we're going to do 8 hours.
We're going to do 8 hours.
Okay.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
And then when you're ready to go, you take it out of the brine, you pat it dry, and then I'm going to show you what happens next.
All right.
Okay, that's cool.
All right. I'm going to just sit this guy over here. So we'll see this guy in 8 hours. Maybe.
Yes. All right. So the next thing I want to do, and I'm going to show you how to chop this, and then we've got a bird that we've already cooked. So I have an onion, and what we want to do is we just want to create a bed of onion. And then once again, these little bits and pieces, I'm going to ask you to pass it down to our little pot. So I have a pot of stock that was out of a box. Sorry, there you go.
You can put it in here.
Yeah, you can
Got
put it in
it.
there. So I've got a box of stock. I'm going to move that forward so they can kind of see it. So this was actually just a box of store-bought stock, but I've put the neck in, and now we've put the onion skins in. So all of that is really enhancing the flavor period.
Yeah.
Right? Just going to make it taste better. And we can use this for our gravy. We can use this for our dressing. We can use this for many different things. But when you're cooking, it's not a garbage pot, but it can use a lot of things.
The scrap stock.
Yeah, scrap stock.
Scrap stock.
And so what I would do here is simply like to put on the bed, to put on the bottom of the pot for the chicken. It's just a coarse chop, something like that. And we're gonna sprinkle the onions around. 8 hours when the bird comes out, we'll take the bird out, pop it in the oven, 425, and cook it till it's nice and brown, and then we pull it out. You want to show? Should we show the one now?
I'm very
it looks so
excited.
good. Yeah.
So we've been working hard on this bird already. Woo, fogged up my glasses.
I know it.
Yum! Woohoo! There it is.
Happy holiday.
Final product.
Look at that. All right, so our onions are super dark and nice and caramelized, but they're still going to taste delicious. But you'll notice what we've done here is after the bird came out of the brine, we seasoned it with paprika. You can use plain paprika or smoked paprika, and then just some pepper. And of course, we don't need the salt because we've got the salt in the brine.
Right.
Yeah. And then so this we'll set aside to rest. What's going to happen is the juices are going to redistribute throughout that chicken. And then I'm going to show you what we would do here is, nope, not that. Yep.
There it goes.
There you go. So all those juices we want to put into the gravy, and then you could still also scrape up those onions too. Yeah, be really good.
It smells so good in here, friends. I wish
really
you could
does.
be here.
You
and
can't beat a
smell
roast
this.
chicken.
No, you can't.
No.
So whether you have chicken or turkey for your holiday meals, this recipe and cooking process works for either of
Yeah,
those.
it does. It
Yeah.
really does. Yay! All right, let us set that aside, and
What's
I'll get started
next?
on the I get started on the dressing because I think
Yes.
it needs to go directly to dressing after we have our happy bird.
Yeah, this takes the longest to cook.
Yeah.
So it has to go in the oven first.
Okay, so let me get going on our stuffing. So you'll see the boxes of stuffing, the mountains, the pyramids at the grocery store. And you can follow the directions directly on the box, but we're going to show you how to chef it up a little bit.
I'm excited
Does
about
that sound
this.
like a good plan? Okay, so
We've already got some of the box stuffing mixes sent out into the community.
Oh,
So
yeah.
That's what our friends will be getting through the food pages.
wonderful.
This is a great way to, like Chef just said, chef it up.
Chef it up a little
You're gonna
bit.
make it a little bit better than how it is.
So I'm going to show you how to chop a celery. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off that end, and you'll see a trend here. what am I doing? It's going into the pot of stock, right? So
Yes.
all of that, instead of going into your garbage or instead of even going into your compost, you're getting minerals and nutrients and food out of this. And I do this at home. I mean, this is 100% real life all the time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. So then I'm going to have my celery, and you don't have to go too crazy with it, but I'm going to make what in French cooking, they would call it a bâton. But I always laugh because in American cooking, we just call it a celery stick.
It's a stick. It's a stick.
So you just want to, you want to cut your celery into sticks, right? Fingers bent, thumb tucked.
Yeah.
And then go back across. Just like that. So we're going to add some celery and some onion. Oh, no. Will you pass me the skillet and we'll put it, put it underneath our camera so folks can see it.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. All right. And this is a heap and helping of butter, right? And wait, I thought you said this is going to be good for you, Virginia. Is that good?
This one.
Oh, sorry.
There we are.
Here we go. So it is a 1/4 cup of butter, but it's to 4 cups of dressing. And that butter, I mean, my grandmother's recipe, a 1/4 cup of butter, that would have just been the start, right? So this is enough butter to give you that rich, buttery mouthfeel, but it's still got tons of vegetables in it, right?
Yeah, I like to think about this in terms of the entire recipe. So you're not eating all of this butter in one serving.
No.
So that's a great way to think about it. So you're just adding the flavor of the butter, but spreading it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got my butter melting, and I'm just going to add the onion and the celery that I had pre-cooked. And then I'll also just add the celery that I also just chopped, or pre-chopped rather, also just chopped. There you go. And then the other ingredients, this is as easy as it can be. So this is a store-bought stuffing mix. You can have this, or stuffing is a great thing to use for older bread, older cornbread. Got to be careful about the sweet cornbread though, because sweet cornbread kind of doesn't work.
Yes, that's a good point to call out.
Yeah, you want it with a crazy hybrid. So, all right, I'm going to ask you to give that a stir. We're going to season this with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Crank you up. All right, and then now we have, so I have my breadcrumb mixture in here, and I'm going to add an egg, and I'm doing a half recipe, so I'm doing an egg. Your recipe has 2 eggs. All right, so the egg. All right, and then now what we're going to do is, while that's cooking, let's get some of our chicken stock going. There you go. All right, so we're gonna use some of that sort of augmented, boosted stock in our dressing. It just gives it even more flavor.
How much you're looking for?
2 cups.
All the way. Okay.
Oh wait, no, I'm doing the half recipe, so I can do 1 cup.
Okay. Where it looks like we're there.
So the deal is, y'all, is you want this to look really soupy. Okay, it needs to look soupy. It doesn't need to look dry. It needs to look soupy. And once those are just softened, you want to make sure that you cook your vegetables first. You don't want to not cook them. And if you don't want to saute it in a skillet, you can do it in the microwave. Yeah, you can do it in the microwave. Just put the butter, the onions, and celery in a microwave-safe bowl, cover it with plastic, zap it until the vegetables are tender, and you're good to go. All right, and then when I think that we're pretty good there.
You ready for these?
Yeah, let's do it. Can you go in?
Can do.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Just stir all that together. And then I am doing the half recipe. So I'm just going to do it in a cake pan or an 8x8. You could also do it in a 9x13.
So the original recipe is for 2 boxes of stuffing.
Correct.
And so if our friends only have 1 box, they can use other versions of breadcrumbs or leftover cornbread and things like that. So keep that in mind.
Oh my gosh.
If you need to, it smells so good.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye, Virginia.
Oh my gosh. I guess I should cook it first. I guess I should cook it
We
first.
did toss some raw egg in there.
This smells like home. This smells like home. There's nothing like these aromas of the holidays. Oh my gosh, right?
It smells so good. I'm so ready.
I'm so ready. I know we have a little bit of a cool day in the ATL, so we're good. And you know, we could even dribble a little bit more stock over this. Why don't we just give it a little bit more? You want it to definitely look wet. Like think about a sandcastle. Like if you're making a sandcastle. Perfect.
Enough.
That looks great.
Right.
So this can be made ahead too.
Yes.
Okay, so this could be made ahead, wrapped in plastic or foil or wax paper, held in the refrigerator, and then once again, before you cook it, you want to pull it out of the oven and let it come to room temperature before you bake it.
Room
Right?
temperature.
Room
That is
temperature,
always the best tip.
You can't go straight from a cold oven to a cold refrigerator to a hot oven. It'll mess up your cooking time.
Yes.
All right, so you want to get that in?
Yes.
Okay,
Off
good.
To the oven we go.
Off to the oven we go.
What temperature was that?
That's going to be at 350.
Oh, perfect.
Yep. And it'll depend. So the great thing about dressing is it'll forgive many sins, right? So you can cook it and then kind of keep cooking it, or turn your oven down to 200 to hold it. If it gets too dry, you just add a little bit more liquid, right? So it's a very durable beast. It's a great side dish for the Thanksgiving holidays, not for the holidays rather.
Yes.
So
whether you call it stuffing or dressing.
All right. So what's the difference? What do you call it?
I call it dressing.
I call it dressing too.
I grew up with dressing.
Yeah.
With an I-N. There's no G.
That's funny.
So
here's the deal, y'all. So in some parts of the country, they stuff the bread mixture that I just made inside the bird, and then it's called stuffing.
Yeah.
And when it's done in a pan like that, it's often called dressing. The truth is that this method that I've just showed you is actually a little bit safer.
Yes, it is.
It's a little bit safer because we don't have to worry about it cooking or not cooking in the middle of that bird. Because sometimes what happens is the turkey on the outside is done or the chicken on the outside is done, but you never hit 160, 165 on the inside of that stuffing. So technically it's not food safe. So I love the pan on the side.
Yeah. And if you want to stuff your bird from a food safety perspective, what would be good to put inside the bird? Like maybe some onions.
Yeah, like if you
garlic.
just want to flavor your bird. I mean, what I often do, like inside the bird, is you could put garlic. You could put some of these onions inside. If you have any herbs or spices, you can sort of sprinkle it in there.
Yeah.
And I've actually put an apple in there. That'll give it a little bit of sweetness.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I definitely made like a lemon chicken situation.
Nice.
To put the chopped up lemon on the inside. Yeah. Definitely do that.
So and the other thing is, it's so great about it is so you get to eat the bird, and then if you portion it beforehand, then you have the bones, and you can make the stock. You can make stock from the bones. So a chicken can have so many iterations into mealtime. Yeah, really can. So, all right, dessert.
Yes.
Ready for dessert?
I'm super excited about
Okay,
this one.
yeah, me too. Me too for sure. Okay, so we have some bread. We got it in the right spot. There we go.
We got it.
All right, so we have some bread, and then once again, this is a half recipe. So this is a half a can of pumpkin.
Half a can of pumpkin.
Okay, but canned pumpkin. I'll let you do that, and then I'll get the other stuff.
What kind of bread did we use today?
These are hoagie buns. Okay, so you could use hoagie buns. You could use sandwich bread. You could use whole wheat bread. You could use brioche bread. You could use hamburger buns, right? I mean, bread pudding is like the best. It's the best because you can use up bits and pieces of bread. It doesn't have to be all same kind of bread.
Yes.
You can use fresh bread. You can use stale bread. I mean,
all the things.
All right, so I'm going to pour. If you want to grab that spoon back and give them a stir for me. All right, so you've got the milk and the sweet potato, and then I'm going to add some sugar. I'm using white sugar here. If you want to use brown sugar, you can. And we don't want it to be too sweet because the sweet potato's got some sweetness to it, but it's really going to, it needs a little bit, right?
Yes, it definitely does need a little bit.
All right, and then I'm going to add some raisins. Once again, you could use different types of dried fruit. You could use apricots. You could use peaches. You could use, dates. It's just really nice to have a little bit of dried fruit, which is also going to give some sweetness,
Yes.
but some fiber too.
And some fiber too.
That's right.
Along with your nice high fiber pumpkin.
That's right. All right. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt. So even though it's a dessert, you want to make sure that you add some salt.
Balance it out.
Mm-hmm. Cinnamon. And you know what I love to do? And like if you've got some in your pantry, I'm adding cinnamon. Ground ginger is delicious.
Yes.
You could use a little bit of allspice or ground cloves. Those are very sort of holiday centric spices. All right. And then some egg.
It's funny is how like in the beginning of the mixing, it was a little tough. Like,
right.
How am I going to mix this in? And now it's all just mixing together and getting soft from
That's
the milk.
right. It's starting to soak in. Oh, I need to let me zap my butter real quick. I love that. I love this recipe. I've had a version of this recipe in so many different of my books. And I think that bread pudding is just one of those homey desserts. It's easy to make. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
You can serve it plain. You can serve it with a scoop of ice cream if you wanted to.
You can make it savory into a different type of dish.
Well, hey, now we're getting crazy. All right, I'm going to add some walnuts. Pecans would be wonderful.
Oh, definitely.
Almonds would be good. So just some nuts going to give you some
texture.
Good texture. Exactly. All right, and then the butter. Pop that in. And then that's it. It's good to go.
That's it.
Good to go.
All right, here we go.
And this is a great way, especially with the especially with the whole wheat bread. It's a sneaky way to add whole grains in the dessert form,
good call.
Right?
Yes.
Because when it's got all this yummy butter, sugar, and pumpkin around it, no one can tell it's whole grain. No one knows. That's the whole deal. All right, this is awesome because you're not smashing it flat. Like I love it when you have these like sort of nooks and crannies, right? The nooks and crannies are good.
Does that add anything special?
Well, I just love it. You get like yummy bits and pieces, yummy little brown bits, and there's just, you want it with some creamy bread next to the crispy bits.
Yes.
So
that's great.
All right, so I'm gonna put this in,
yes.
And I'll grab. Let's look at let's see what's going on here. You want to pull that? Oh, we just put that in there. So we got to pull that one out?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got bread pudding ready to show you.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Doesn't that look great?
That looks so good.
That looks so good. Okay, now I'm going to grab a dressing. We're going to make some plates. How about that?
Perfect.
All right. Oh my gosh, look at this. Just be leaving with this right now. All right, so there is our dressing, our chef'd up dressing with the breadcrumbs, the seasoning that came with the breadcrumbs, onion, celery, butter. Oh my gosh, and the stock. That's so good. Okay, well, let's see.
Got our plates over there.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I need to, should I slice some of this chicken? You want to do that? Why not? Why not?
Of course, we're going to slice some chicken.
Yeah. Grabbing that.
Okay, here we go.
Going rogue here. Going rogue. I'm like, what's she doing? All right, so this will just be real easy. I'm going to show y'all how to do this. So I'm going to take the bird there, right? And once again, all this would go be set aside to put in our stock or our gravy. And then what you want to do is you take I'm in the right spot. Let's see.
You're in there.
Make sure. Oh, I know. Here. There we go. How's that? Skinny little beast.
Movie magic.
Okay, there we
are.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your knife and you're just going to put it there on the side. And you can, if you were struggling when you're taking apart a bird, your knife is not in the right spot. It's just that simple because you can cut between the joints. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can cut between the joints. So
does it have anything to do with how done the bird is?
Yes and no. So the main thing is that if you are slicing, like this is a joint, and if I slice exactly between where that joint is, it's simply cartilage and it'll come down. If you are slicing and you're having a really hard time, it means you're not in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense? You see it? See how easy that was? All right, so there is our, we're gonna go with how about a leg quarter? I want a leg quarter for my Thanksgiving or my holiday.
I'm a dark meat girl too.
Okay, there you go, there you go.
That is definitely my preference. We're gonna help you find.
That's it. That's that sneaky second drawer that I keep missing. Okay, we'll do this. Want to serve up some of that?
I need a little bit more than that.
There we go.
Oh,
Exactly.
So good.
Exactly. And then we're going to. How do I keep missing that? There it is. I was looking for tongs. Tongs are up top. Okay.
Tongs are
I
up
love
top.
it. They're so pretty with the orange. Okay. So we've got our dressing, and then now we have our chicken and leg, and there we go. Yay!
So good. That smells so good.
Yay! Bon appetit, y'all. There you go. How about
that?
All right, so I'll set this aside, and then we'll serve up our sweet potato bread pudding. The pumpkin bread pudding. Yeah. All right. Let's see. You've got that.
Let me move this out of the way.
She's dripping a little bit.
She is dripping.
Yep. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, cool.
Got it.
All right, and then here's our canned pumpkin. Show y'all that again. Look at that. So same thing. Got like little nooks and crannies, right? Get this out of the way. And then let's see. Do you have a spoon? Okay, perfect. There we go. Yay! Big old portion, right? Okay. Awesome. And we could put, if we wanted to, we could put a dollop of cream, ice cream. You could drizzle over some syrup if you wanted to. It's plenty delicious, just like this.
Yeah, it smells so good.
Yay! There we go. So happy holidays, everybody.
Yes, happy holidays. We hope you like some of these recipes and we'll try them at home. And thanks again to Virginia.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
yes,
glad to be here.
Absolutely. So you're going to find the recipes and resources from this episode at the link on the bottom of the screen. You can click it. We'll drop it in the chat box, or you can also type it into your browser. So look for the cooking videos folder, and you will find Pantry to Plate and the wonderful holiday recipes.
Yay!
Here. Yes. Thanks so much. Happy holidays to you and your family, and we will see you next month for a new episode.
Bye.
Bye.